Good morning. I'm Todd Martin. I'm VP of Client Partners at Measured, and I'm here talking with Christof Zanecchia, who is the Senior Manager of Global Market Science at VF Corp. Christof, thank you first of all for joining us. It's great to have you. If you want to give us a little bit of background about yourself, your role, VF Corp, all of that would be great to fill us in on.
Yeah, it's great to be here. Thanks for the opportunity. Yeah, I've been at VF a number of years. Really excited to kind of elevate our measurement game. And thanks to you guys, we're really doing that, focusing in on the incrementality opportunity across VF. But that's really what excites me when I think about marketing analytics, just this whole opportunity around incrementality. So yeah, really excited with the partnership that we have.
Can you give us a little bit of your I think your background before VF Corp? I know you've been with VF for quite a long time, but any other relevant marketing experience you had before VF Corp?
Yeah, so I've worked in a couple different startups, but I never really understood like the true power of marketing until more recently, I would say. I've had a number of roles at VF. Started in finance, then moved over to kind of help drive marketing strategy through that, bringing that science lens to marketing, which actually didn't really exist prior to that. So that's been really excited to see how the data can really help tell a story. Ultimately, what measurement is doing is trying to understand what's actually happening in reality, and I think that's been exciting for me to see. Uh, I've become a big. I started as a numbers guy, and I've become a big brand guy, I would say, through leveraging the data. So I had never thought I'd kind of end up there, but like I said at the beginning, like I think I see this sweet spot combining creativity in marketing with a data-led approach in terms of really unlocking the true power of marketing effectiveness and brand growth. So that's what I'm most passionate about, and I would say Measured is really helping us kind of unlock that holistic approach, like I said, in terms of driving both short-term impact as well as long-term impact.
That's awesome. And you mentioned, you started in finance, so you've got kind of a unique view because it was within VF Corp. So you've moved around both from the purely number side of the business over to the marketing side of the house. How has that not only that transition for you, but how has that helped you in terms of understanding the way that you look at marketing and how Measured kind of takes that approach to looking at marketing both from a short-term and a long-term perspective?
Yeah, I think it's been exciting to have that kind of unique perspective. I would say I'm probably one of the few people within the company that has kind of made that transition from a finance worldview to a marketing worldview. So I really see both sides of it. At the end of the day, we're a business, and I think that's been, I would say, the biggest challenge is really kind of demonstrating the true value. I think a lot of companies historically may have seen marketing as kind of a cost center rather than a profit center. So really helping unlock, kind of peel back the layers of how marketing is really driving the business. That's been really exciting to see, and I think really understanding both the short-term impacts and long-term impacts of marketing has been really exciting for me because ultimately there really are some principles of brand growth which we can confirm through the measurement to help the brands grow ultimately. So that's been exciting for me to kind of be in a unique place within the company to help demonstrate the true value of marketing. And I would say it's also a unique time within the company because there's a lot more focus on marketing effectiveness now, and I think potentially we've had some more short-term focus within marketing in the past, and I think now we're truly understanding how you really need to have kind of a longer term strategy as well as a short-term strategy as well. And the measurement toolbox really helps us unlock that.
Great. In terms of your mission as a marketing leader, can you give us some background around kind of what drives you, what impact are you most focused on delivering through your media and marketing strategy?
Yeah, so when I first moved over to the role that I have now, I think I was a little bit kind of skeptical in terms of um, what does a data-led approach actually look like? And I think over the years, I've really come to understand that the real power, I think, in marketing lies between that, combining the creativity with the data-led approach. So it's really excited to kind of see that all come together and how you can kind of connect the dots from data to an overall, sustainable strategy for a brand that really, yeah, unlocks the true power of brand growth.
Yeah, thank you for that. I'd second that for sure. And then in terms of marketing today, we know there's a lot of shifting sands. There's signal loss. There's AI happening. There's changing consumer behavior. Two questions around that. One is what excites you about all of that change and all of that opportunity today? And the second is what are some of the biggest challenges that those shifting sands present?
Yeah, I mean, I think the real exciting thing is just the opportunity to kind of connect the dots. I think obviously there's a really fragmented ecosystem right now, and I think with the technology, with the I think we're better positioned than ever to kind of connect the dots across, especially like a measurement ecosystem to help answer or get the right tool to answer the right question to help drive like a more holistic approach to marketing. I would say, yeah, some of the biggest challenges I see is this is my personal point of view. I don't necessarily think a lot of the AI and tech tools will replace like brand strategy, but I think they're going to help accelerate and unlock even more potential, whether it comes to creativity or measurement specifically. So that's what I'm really excited about. It's a really, especially in my position in a strategy role, to help leverage the power of that to unlock faster, better, and more um, you know, relevant results to help drive better marketing effectiveness.
Yeah, and I think that's great insight into how you're kind of conquering the challenges that all of the change, the perpetual change presents to marketers today. And that kind of leads me into my next question around, the fact that VF Corp is a huge company that has many brands underneath it, brands like the North Face and Vans, both of which work with measured. How does having multiple brands under one roof kind of change and shape the way that you look at marketing strategy, and how you approach that from a portfolio level?
Yeah, I think it's a really unique position to be in where we're managing multiple brands. I think what's most exciting to me, in general, I'm a big fan of distilling key insights into principles. And I know we've had quite a few like aha moments where we have a hypothesis and then a lot of the data kind of helps validate that. I think what's really exciting is, yeah, just being able to kind of connect the dots and, you know, really see things that are common across brands in terms of marketing dynamics. Obviously, each brand has their own unique identity and strategy, but it's really exciting to see similar marketing dynamics across those brands and how those key learnings can be distilled for brands where we don't even have a lot of measurement. Yeah, principle based insights that are coming out of a lot of the measurement that we do is really exciting to me to be able to leverage that opportunity across the full portfolio.
Great. And would you say the same principle kind of applies in terms of the geographic dispersion of VF Corp? I mean, you guys are working across multiple continents, number of countries, measured itself works with VF across many different regions and countries. Is that a similar approach that you're taking with that?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, each market that we operate in is pretty unique, but it's great to see not only commonalities across regions in terms of marketing dynamics and opportunities, how certain channels perform, but also it's exciting to see how, yeah, within each market, brands can behave similarly against those consumer dynamics, those nuances as well. So, yeah, definitely exciting to see how we can apply both a global and regional market specific approach with our learnings.
Great. And how, if we talk about measured and how measured kind of fits into that picture, how has measured helped VF navigate the complexities and the dynamics of that multi-brand, multi-region, multi-country ecosystem?
Yeah, I think what's been a big challenge for us, and I think other brands may be dealing with this as well, but we work with a partner on marketing mix modeling, so MMM as well. In the past, it's been easy or it's been great to see that high level view of what's driving brand growth in each market, how's marketing performing, and then we get into those more strategic views of the holistic impact on the business for each channel. But I think one of the challenges has always been is like connecting the dots from that kind of higher level view to more a day-to-day approach And that's where measured, I think, has been really helpful to kind of connect the dots from one extreme, which is kind of that last click view, like Google Analytics last touch, and the MMM, which provides a more holistic view over the longer term. So that's been really helpful to have that unlock in terms of bridging that gap with measured and incrementality testing to validate those longer term marketing choices.
That's great. And in terms of using measured to do just that, I mean, can you talk a little bit about how the shift to an incrementality based measurement framework has kind of changed the way you operate and changed some of the ways that people look at marketing and look at marketing strategy within the org?
Yeah, I mean, what's most exciting to me is that we've entirely shifted away from Google Analytics, I would say, for our core brands towards measured as our core kind of day-to-day optimization tool. So that's super exciting. I've seen firsthand how a last click attribution type optimization strategy can really lead to more short-term decisions, which can essentially be kind of detrimental to long-term growth. So I'm really excited to kind of see the light at the end of the tunnel in terms of shifting to a more incrementality centric approach where we can really optimize towards both the short term and long term across the marketing funnel as well. So yeah, really excited to see how everything is kind of coming together to drive that more sustainable brand growth.
Standout moments that come to mind? Anything where either the data or the measurement framework has allowed the VF team or one of the brands in particular to make better marketing decisions, shift strategy, any of that?
Yeah, I would say overall, I mean, there's been some great aha moments. I mean, we've only been working together now for 10 months, but really exciting to see some pretty consistent results where channels where we didn't really understand the true opportunity kind of come to life. You know, a good example was that non-branded test that we did to really understand about how we can drive more incremental reach just within, one of our core spend areas. That was been it's been a great unlock. The other piece I would say, just more in general, is really understanding, really for the first time, the true incremental value, the incremental ROAS of our mid and upper funnel media tactics. Of course, when you look at those from a last click standpoint, it's difficult to understand the true value. But now we're finally getting, I would say, the veil lifted on that true full funnel value, and we're seeing not just how those mid and upper funnel tactics can be really, really profitable, but also on the lower funnel piece, where I'm starting to understand how some of those tactics that we might have seen as really profitable through that last touch view are actually not as incremental as we think. So it's been exciting to have these conversations from a full funnel perspective and understanding that true incrementality.
Yeah, and in terms of, you mentioned the non-brand search testing that we did to help kind of understand the value there that could be unlocked. Can you walk us through that a little more in a little more detail and talk us through kind of what the hypothesis was and what we were trying to help the brand understand and what the ultimate goal there was?
Yeah, I think overall, we were just trying to better understand. There was a small spend area, and we did a scale test just to understand what that potential opportunity could be. But yeah, overall, we had a hypothesis that we were kind of over indexing or over saturated on our brand paid search. And through that non-brand, that test, we were able to really understand how we can diversify into other terms and capture more of that category demand, which I think is really exciting. And of course, when we did that test, we saw, I think it was like a 16x return. So really excited to see how that drove like a big change and strategy in terms of our media agency that we work with to really allocate more investment there. And of course, we've seen other opportunities. That's just one example, but exciting to already see some quick wins in the first 10 months of working together.
Yeah, and then I know in terms of seasonality is another area that we've been diving into a lot with the VF team. Can you talk a little bit about how Measured is helping to unlock and unpack some of the value and the understanding around seasonality that might be maybe counterintuitive to traditional marketing?
Yeah, it's really actually helped me better understand that whole concept of seasonality. I think, we still have tests literally ongoing right now, but, we're starting to see, this whole dynamic of, consumers that are in market versus out of market play out. And we're really seeing that, a lot of the incrementality, and again, we're still validating this, but we're seeing very high incrementality in these kind of out of season periods where there's not a lot of natural people that are in market. So especially on these mid and upper funnel tactics, we're able to see, the real true value in driving that incremental reach, particularly I would say probably with those out of market consumers. So yeah, exciting to see how we can have a more balanced strategy throughout the year and understanding how our marketing works in tandem with these seasonality dynamics, which are really important to factor in and how we can optimize our investment strategy against that.
Yeah, that's great to see that we're able to help unlock that and help unpack some of those insights, which are really more macro changes to the marketing strategy from a top down perspective across the entire portfolio of brands. Can you talk us through your favorite thing about working with Measured, whether it's methodology, the team, the platform, anything else entirely? What has been your favorite part of the experience so far in the 10 months that we've been working?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, when we first started talking, first started onboarding, I wasn't sure how we would be working together. But I think this whole idea that you guys are literally an extension of our teams, it's really true. And I feel like this kind of triangulated approach where you guys are kind of that unbiased point of view in terms of measurement, working with our media agencies. So literally working as one team, but yeah, it's kind of with a three-pronged approach where it's VF, media agency, and you all. That's worked really well. We see these kind of weekly touch points. Yeah, just being really efficient in terms of the ways of working. The other piece I would say, which has been great, of course, working with you, just the thought partnership on how we can continuously innovate and thinking about how we can really unlock the full value now that we have some more aligned KPIs across VF, how we can align to those and better unlock the understanding around, hey, what's driving those, and just continuously innovating and thinking kind of outside the box. That's been really exciting to see with the incrementality led approach, what the potential unlock is, not just, measuring against revenue, but looking at like omni-channel incrementality as well as multi KPIs where we can better understand not just conversion impact, but also more brand impact as well.
Great. And if I can kind of backtrack a little, when we talk about the measurement framework at VF Corp, can you talk about the fragmentation that was in place across the multiple brands prior to Measured coming in and how Measured has maybe helped with some of that push to standardize measurement and have kind of one language and one way of looking at things across the org?
Yeah, I mean, VF has been on a journey in terms of measurement. It's exactly that. And I'm sure other companies are dealing with this where, a lot of times when we think measurement, it's like one single tool. And the reality is that there's no silver bullet. There's, a certain tool that helps answer a certain question at a certain time. And I think we've had this, like I said, this fragmented approach with these kind of competing views, I would say, between our MMM on one side and maybe our Google Analytics or last click platform view on the other side. And Measured has really helped kind of bridge the gap and standardize this kind of our measurement approach really with a more incrementality centric measurement focus. So that's been exciting to see how we're kind of bringing everything together and connecting the dots across all our measurement tools, whether it's brand health, asset testing, and incrementality testing. Really excited to see how everything is connected. I'm really passionate about always taking this holistic approach, and Measured is really helping us with that.
That's great to hear. Um, I'm going to backtrack a little bit as well on some of the questions I jumped past in the beginning, but that's great. That's great and thank you for giving us that context around how the finance background really helps in terms of understanding measurement and understanding the true long-term impact that marketing can drive for a business. I guess last question I'll ask is, in your measurement journey and your work with Measured so far, have there been any insights that surprised you? I know a lot of stuff when you and I talk, a lot of it is almost confirming theories that you've had or that we've said this is what we typically see across similar brands. But have there been any kind of aha moments that have surprised you and that really kind of contradicted your previous worldview?
Yeah, I would say one of them we talked a little bit about in terms of the seasonality, but I had always had this hypothesis that, oh, we should allocate more dollars across the funnel when we're, towards our peak season. So of course, when there's high demand, you would assume that all tactics would kind of be working harder, which I would say can be the case. But, what we're seeing is that potentially when there's more natural demand, it actually probably makes sense to, focus more on some of the demand capture tactics, whereas maybe out of season where there's less natural people in market, we can focus more on generating that demand through, those mid and upper funnel tactics. So that's been something that I would say the data is kind of helping support a hypothesis that, well, I've since changed, and I think now the data is validating that. But yeah, it's exciting to see how that can inform potential strategy shifts moving forward in terms of how we allocate dollars across the year. So yeah, I would say every day we're kind of seeing new things. What's really exciting to me is the shift towards an omni-channel incrementality approach. I think that's going to be a huge unlock where right now we're still kind of looking at things a little bit through a straw when we look at just the e-commerce impact, but expanding that to full D2C and then eventually understanding the total impact on the business is really, I think, going to help unlock even more opportunities across the funnel. So yeah, really excited that we're expanding in that direction.
That's great. I think that is all the questions that I had for today. Look, we love working with VF Corp. Selfishly, I love the brands. I've got many pairs of Vans. And, living in New England, my North Face jacket gets me through the winter. Appreciate all of the brand work that you guys are doing and all the great measurement evolution that you guys are putting in place. Thanks for the time, and thanks for sharing all your insights with us.
Yeah, my pleasure. And it's great to continue the partnership and really excited where things are going right now.
Yeah, likewise.